Okay, let's go.
Is it showtime?
It's 1 minute late.
It's 1 minute late. Uh-oh. Sorry about that, folks. Good morning. Sunday Funday is underway. What? All right, to get started today, we're gonna come to we're gonna step our right foot forward, left foot back. And as we start, I like to make sure you have a nice separation between left and right so you have balance. You're gonna take your hands to your hips, and we're gonna make the chest nice and proud. And we're gonna, with a long spine, begin to fold down and then rise back up. It's not about depth right now. We're gonna increase the range of motion as we warm these muscles up. But right now, I can kind of most focus on the hip hinging and adding in depth as your body starts to allow. Now let's hold it in an upright position. Take the left heel, drive it to the earth, and come up on the tippy toes, and just piston up and down on that back foot. And then when you're ready, step the back foot forward, set up opposite side. You have a relatively straight front leg. We're chopping through the left hip. And again, it's just the same exercise, opposite side. It's really a warming exercise. And increasing the range with spine long, neck neutral. Through each repetition, I like you to try to see a little more depth if you possibly can. And let's take it to an upright position and begin to piston that right foot up and down. And then step that right foot forward. I'm going to move out slightly. You don't have to move like I'm moving to the back of my mat here. I'm just going to sweep your arms up and salute the sun. Palms are going to face each other. Fingers are going to be spread nice and wide. I'm going to ask you to use the fingers to pull all of that physical aspect of your body high to the sky. Fill your lungs with air. And as you exhale it, swan dive it forward all the way down. Oh, nice. Now, while you're down, check out your pedicure. Take a big inhale, extend to a flat back. Exhale, flex the spine and fold. And continue doing this for a few more breaths. Now let's hold the spine in extension. And I'd like you to drift your hips backwards to give me a pronounced weight bearing to the heels. And then I'd like you to snap back slowly, gently, controlled, of course. The knees, kind of straighten out the legs. And if you feel a little more tension through the back or posterior muscles of the legs, perfect. That's kind of what we're looking for. Now, while you keep those knees snap back, I'd like you to grow the spine a little more and then drift back so you have a little more weight bearing to the heels. Fill those lungs with air, and as you exhale, fold it down. Walk out your hands to a plank position. In our high plank, I'd like you to spread your hands nice and wide, wider than shoulder width if possible. And then I'd like you to take your elbows and turn them in towards the body. Let that chest kind of drop in between the arms. And take the back of the head and lift the back of the head to the sky, but without compromising. So without pushing through the arms, I'd like you to keep the chest dropping in between them and pull the back of the head to the sky. As we keep the knees relatively straight, I'd like you to do so by pushing the heels towards the ground Now, while we're here, I'd like you to kind of pull your belly up and into the spine. And maybe put a little arch or bend or flexion through that spine with that nice recruitment of muscle. On your next breath, lower the knees down towards the earth, spread them to the width of the mat. Draw your heels together and then draw your hips back for a little reprieve, child's pose. As we come back here, I'd like you to walk your hands forward and keep the forearms up and off the mat. So basically your connections are knees, toes, and palms of hands. Walk the hands forward as you pull back the hips. Sink the hips a little lower towards the heels if you can, if it's accessible. On your next breath, walk the hands back in, and now flip your feet out to the edges of the mats. So we have 6 edge contacts. Baby fingers of each hand, the knees and the feet, all out nice and wide. Let your head drop, and then pull the center of your spine to the sky, tuck your tailbone under, and reverse this. Tailbone back of head, pull to the sky. Now hold this, spiral your elbows in towards the center line, and then try to lift your belly up. Hold the belly lifting up, let the head descend, tuck under through those hips, flex the spine. Now hold this flexion, drift the hips backwards towards the heels. And then drift forward. And then flip the tailbone, pull back of head to the sky. Pull the belly up and into the body. Push through the arms so that the shoulders push forward and rotate the elbows internally. Keep the elbows rotating internally. Drop the chest in through the arms. Flip the tailbone, pull the back of the head. Drift back towards the heels with that booty. Come on back forward. Head lowers. Pelvic tuck under. Center of spine pulls the sky. Push hard with those arms. Elevate your upper body, your torso pulling high to the sky. Keep this all engaged as you drift back towards the heels. Come on back forward. Reverse this. And then neutralize the spine. Float the knees up off the earth. Float back and forward a little bit. And then calm that as you pull your booty up to the sky. Drive the heels to the earth. And then walk your hands back towards the feet. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Keep the feet wide. Edges of the mat, edges of the feet are together. Exhale, fold. Keep folded. Drift your butt backwards. Snap back the knees. Push the ball of each big toe, each foot into the mat. As you try to work to straighten the legs even more if you can. As you inhale, extend to a flat back. As you exhale, fold back down. Inhale, extend. Exhale, fold. Inhale, extend. Hold the extension. Step your palms to the shins. Keep the ball of each big toe pushing into the mat. Drift back the hips without toppling. Now, straighten those legs a little more if you can. Pull the spine long as you push the palms to the shin. Pull long with that neck also. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, bring the hands back down to the earth. Let's put them out about a foot, few inches in any bend. Front of the feet. And now both knees, I'd like you to bend and lower the butt. And then push it back to the sky. So we're going to explore a little range of motion as we continue warming. Pushing high, snapping the knees back, bending both knees and lowering that butt, and see if you can get a little lower with each repetition. Now, hold up, keep your heels on the mat, step your toes off the mat so they're angling open. Take the knees, bend them, push them wide with the toes, and see if you can lower down a little deeper, and then push all the way back up. Sink it down. And push it back up. When you sink, try to open up the chest, be nice and proud, push back up. Sink it down, proud up, hold down, bring your forearms up and onto your thighs. Now, hold on this and bounce a little bit. All right, now, take your arms, extend them forward. Separate the fingers nice and wide, stand tall, and lower back down. See how low you can go. Increase the depth as best you can on these repetitions. Slowly up, slowly down. Now, the rising, push the heels to the earth as you rise up. Push the ball of the big toe into the mat as you come down. Heels, ball of big toe, each foot. Heel up. Ball of big toe down. Hold down, fingers back to the earth. Step your feet in, push your butt high to the sky. Inhale, extend, go flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, unfold, salute the sun. All the way up, beautiful, happy faces. Good morning to you all. Pull high to the sky, the fingers. Exhale, the arms relax. Now, hold on this for a second. Gonna keep the feet nice and wide as we bring hands to hips. I'd like you to take the left hip and push it out to the side. Now, our bodies like to meet certain protocols that we've established for our for our postural behavioral habits. And I'd like you to make sure you've got that left knee kind of locked out as you push that left hip out. I'm gonna find a nice little inward lane of the upper body. And then we're gonna come over to the opposite side. Make sure that right knee is nice and locked, if you will, as you push out on that right hip. And then switch from side to side. You're just kind of gliding over, not forcing or shooting across. It's a nice, slow, rhythmic movement, side to side. And enjoy this for a couple of repetitions. And then when you're ready, come back to the center. Hold on with those hips, hands on them. Proud out the chest, squeeze the elbows together. Now take your thumbs and push them into the meaty part of the back side. So the top part, you can kind of feel a little bit of a ridge maybe, and it's a little bit below. But what if you have muscle tissue? I like to kind of drive the thumbs into that back area and hold on that as you once again start this exercise. Pushing to the left, pushing to the right. Now, under the thumb, you're going to feel muscle activation, and that's a good thing. I want you to feel that experience of the muscle kind of thickening up a little bit as we go from side to side. That's your gluteal. That's a big glute max. You should feel that muscle engage as we begin these translations of side to side. Don't over talk it, Kirsten saying. Now come back straight, relax the arms. Pull the shoulders up, sweep the arms up. So we have an elevation of shoulder and arms. Gonna keep that elevation nice and high. Now, when we salute, we're gonna bring the back of hands towards each other. So we're coming up overhead. So the thumbs are kind of aiming down and the back of the hands face each other. Now you may not be directly back, and I don't want you to force it all the way back with the arms. I like you to kind of keep the arms in position where they're forward enough, where you can keep them straight and be tension free for the neck. Sweep them down, shoulder height. Keep the arms long. We're not breaking through the elbows as we raise them back up and lower them back down. It's a nice stretch for some of these exterior rotating muscles of the shoulder themselves. And we're kind of exercising them and stretching them simultaneously, just to make sure they're all functional when we finish class, like lower down all the way this time. So the palms face in. We're gonna keep the palms in the same position as we sweep the arms all the way back up. All we've done is increase the range of motion, all the way up, all the way down. Inhale as you raise, exhale as you lower, and do that a couple more times. If you have any burning going on in those muscles, that's great. That means that they're actually being conditioned
as we do this exercise. And let's hold it in the down position, palms are facing in, keep your fingers separated widely, so your thumbs are kind of aiming straight forward as you draw up the shoulders towards the ears. And now keep everything hand-wise the same, except we're gonna rotate the palms to face forward, then out to the side, and keep rotating as long as they can go, as far as they can go. So we have a real big exterior rotation. So I'm gonna hold on this as we begin to fold forward, and I can keep the spine long and try to keep the arms parallel to the torso, come back up and enjoy a few more repetitions of this. Explore the range of motion. You can get a little deeper. Now, when you deepen, when you go a little deeper, try not to compromise, try not to let the shoulders fall in or let the arms drop. Kind of vascularizing these muscles, they're keeping active, they're working isometrically. Keep the shoulders kind of pinned back. And an exterior activation. Come up, sweep to the sky. Big inhale, exhale, fold. Walk it out, plank. It's like a pirate exercise, we're walking the plank. Now, let's position the hands slightly forward of the shoulders. Now, if that's not a possibility, find what is, get there, and we're gonna step forward a little more as we create a bridge with our upper body. I like you to make sure your feet and your hands are almost to the width, the edges of the mat. Elbows are spiraling in. Chest is gonna drop in between those arms. Back of the head's gonna lift to the sky. We're gonna pull the belly up and into the spine. We're gonna keep that belly pull the same as we pull the hips upward and backward to down dog. And then come back to this plank. So it's like a wide bridge plank, if you will. Normally we stack the wrists under the arms. Today we have wrists forward of the arms. And we're gonna float between the 2 points, driving the heels down as we pull back. And keeping that push up to the toes as we move forward. Let's do this another repetition. And when we come back to plank, lower the knees, bring them in together. What's going on over there? We got a running nose. Now, we're gonna bring thigh to thigh and bring the feet in together. And then we're gonna take our toes and tuck them under. We're gonna keep the feet, or sorry, the hands spread nice and wide. And I like you to kind of make some frog hands. So widely spread fingers, elbows are gonna point away from the body to start. And then we're gonna rotate those elbows inward. We're gonna keep that rotation as we begin to scapate. We're gonna lower the chest and raise it up and in between the arms without breaking through the elbows. I'd like you to squeeze your thighs together, pull your belly up and into the spine. As we raise and lower the chest in between those arms. Let's do a few more repetitions. And then hold it in the up position. Straighten out the fingers so they aim forward. We're back in a normal, what probably feels more normal type of hand position. And we're gonna take the knees and feet and step them out to the edges of the mat. Now here, we're gonna kind of tuck the pelvic girdle under, which is gonna allow for some spinal flexion. And I like you to kind of pretend you're like pulling from the pubis up and into the spine and engaging that six-pack muscle of yours, keeping it active as you bring more flexion to the spine. Let the head descend towards the earth and then reverse. Tailbone flips to the sky. And back of head pulls skyward also. Now, reverse this. Head lowers. Pubis kind of pulls in towards the stomach. Elbows spiral in towards the center line. Belly pulls high in. And I want you to kind of really activate it like a cannonball. It's going to be shot off into the belly. Ooh, give it some big contracted effort. Arch the back as you maintain that contraction. Hold on this for a breath or two. And as you release it, come back to a neutral spine. Make sure your toes are tucked under as we float the hips up
and backward. Walk the hands back towards the feet. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, unfold and salute the sun. Good morning again, everybody. Exhale, relax. Palms turn in to the sides of the body. Fingers are still spread widely as we draw the shoulders up to the ears. Open the palms to face forward this time. Now we're going to bend the elbows and pull them backwards. Beautiful. Now I'm going to keep this elbow pulled backwards. And we're going to begin to fold again. I like you to pull the hips back. We're going to keep the legs straight. Now, I'm trying to keep my wrists right on the hip socket as best I can. As I fold forward and rise. And I'm oscillating down and up slowly. And I'm working on the range of depth here. How low can I go and still keep my wrists on the hips? And as I rise back up, I'm going to bring hands over hearts and reposition my feet. Left foot kind of steps in more towards the center, but we're going to step that right foot forward. The right foot, I like you to put the ball of the big toe, push it into the mat. And then on that left foot, I like you to kind of be on the ball of the big toe of the left foot, but the heel's raised. I'm going to aim that heel up at the sky. And I'm going to bring some straightness to that back leg. And straightness to the front leg. And if the balance got thrown a little bit, gain it back, figure it out, keeping hands over heart now. Legs are straight. We're going to lean in slightly. We're going to hold here. We're going to enjoy this nice posture. Now, while we're keeping spine long and the neck long, we're going to take both legs, which are straight, and try to pull them together. You're going to feel a little bit of extra effort in that right hamstring. We're going to hold on that a little more as we lean in just a touch more and then come back up and switch up sides. Subtly adding to the intensity of the work. Same setup, ball of each big toe, gaining the balance, gaining the length through spinal column and neck, keeping hands over heart, leaning in, holding on, enjoying the moment. We're going to add in, we're going to have a little progression. You know what it is already, right? Pull the legs together, pull. Now, when you pull, you're going to want to switch this. No, I want you to keep the ball of each big toe working hard. Don't transfer any work to the heel. Even though it may feel like it's going there, I want you to focus on the ball of each big foot, or each big toe, sorry. And then set the back foot forward. Relax a little bit, shake it out. Hands push to the sky. Inhale. Fill lungs. Exhale. Fold all the way down. Inhale, extend. Drift that booty back. Fold it down. Inhale, extend. Bend both knees. Sweep the arms to the sky as you straighten the legs and stand tall. Salute the sun. Good morning, Mr. or Mrs. Sun, whatever your version is. Exhale, relax. Right foot steps forward. All right, now I'm going to bring hands on hips this time. I'm going to keep this nice thumb activation. I like you to feel with the thumbs. Find that meaty portion, backside of the body. And as we work to push the heel, try the ball of each big toe into the mat. I like you to bring straightness to the legs and length to the spine as we fold forward. Now, if your thumb's on the point where it feels like it's burning a little bit, or sorry, if you can, try to find the point where your thumb can connect where the butt cheek is burning a little bit. It may not be burning yet, but you know kind of where that area is, right? So find the thumb in that spot. We're going to hold on that. We lean in a little more. And a little deeper, and a little deeper, and a little deeper. Now hold. Take the heel of the right foot and push it into the mat and straighten up the spine. Crowd out the chest, sweep or pull the elbows together. Keep tension free through that neck as you make that spinal column and head pull away from the hips, keeping that neck nice and long. And then slowly rise back up
Bring hands over hearts. As you interlock the fingers in that position, push the hands to the sky. Whoops. Now, my arms are positioned in front of my face. That's where our arms should be. Don't try to ratchet it back. We want to feel a nice pull through the lats. Now, what we're going to do is take our upper body and grow it. And keep the upper body growing as we engage our six-pack. And as we keep the six-pack engaged, we're going to bring the shoulders back over the hips if they're not presently there. And then we're going to take our whole shoulder carriage with hands interlocked and rotate it towards the right. And then we're going to use those interlocked hands to pull high to the sky, the whole body. And then come back straight. Drop those hands back over heart, release the grip, and switch up sides. This is a very fascia-oriented stretch, and it gets us right from the toes all the way up to the fingers. It's a nice thing. Now, same setup, opposite side, fingers interlock, and then we set up the legs. We have a slight lean forward as we push the hands to the sky. We're going to hold on this with arms straight. So we have a little bit of optical, visual, if you will, of the arms. They're in front of the face, literally. Now, while we keep the arms long, we're going to engage that six-pack muscle. We're going to keep the ball of each big toe active as we bring shoulders back over hips. As we inhale, keep those arms long and rotate to the left. Now, take those hands and pull everything to the sky. And come back center. Hands lose their interlock as they come over heart. Set the back foot forward. Beautiful. How'd you like that? That was amazing, wasn't it? Different exercise or variation of what we've done before. As I spread the feet to the edges of the mat, I'm going to take my toes and aim them in towards the center line. I'm going to keep hands over heart. And I'm simply going to push from side to side. We practiced this earlier with hands over hips. It's the same exercise, different foot orientation. So we're going to get a little bit more the outside or external muscles and begin to circle the hips. And as we circle, try to make the circle as big as possible. We're increasing the diameter without bending through the knees, keeping the spine nice and long, being as circular as possible. Try not to do squares. Know your geometry, follow it through, and then switch up the opposite direction. You'll find that you might be able to work circles on one side, squares on the other. Try to work circles on both sides without compromising any of the joint. Keeping them nice and long. Yeah, I know we got to do the same amount of repetitions on both sides, otherwise we'll walk around in circles. Now, come back straight. Take your toes, aim them straight. Actually, step them all the way up. So we're kind of like in a modified sumo. So the heels are on the edge of the mat, toes are off, aiming 45-degree angle or just away, whatever works best for you. Take the palms, push them together, and if you met that with an inward rotation of the shoulders, I'd like you to do two things. I'd like you to pull the shoulders out and push the palms together. Keep those things actively working. With the palms pushing together, with hands over heart. We're going to bend the knees and descend the hips. As we come down, I'd like you to explore the range of motion. How far low, how far down you can get. Now, from the heel, I'd like you to push them to the earth and elevate the body. And when we elevate, I'd like you to keep the ball of each big toe pushing into the mat, and we're going to descend it down with that ball, big toe, pushing to the mat, lowering down, exploring the range of motion and depth. When we get as low as we can go, I'd like you to transfer the push from the ball to the heel. Push the heel and slowly raise it. And then do this a couple more times, your speed. And by the way, first person done loses. Nice and slow. Down and up. Oh. Should feel a nice little activation, a little bit of burn. Keeping the upper body as vertical as you can and slowly coming up and then stepping the feet forward, keeping hands over heart, sides of feet, sides of mat together. Gonna take the right hip, push it out to the right, keeping those legs long, locked out if you will, as we switch from side to side. And then add the circle in, doesn't matter what direction you start, we're gonna go the opposite side. And then circle it back the other way. And bring it center. I'm gonna step back into the center part of my mat. Gonna shoot the hands up to the sky, palms are facing forward. Nice. Now, take a big breath in. And then lower the arms shoulder height. Palms are now facing the earth, right? And then we're gonna take our thumbs and rotate them internally, so they're gonna throw it into the center line and aim down. Now, if you've got funny things going on with your thumbs, try to keep the plane of all the fingers in the thumb in the same plane. So we're just rotating the thumbs down. As opposed to, I'm gonna rotate my thumb internally, I want you to rotate the arm internally. So give me that arm rotation. Now, draw the shoulders back. Back of hands are close together, both shoulder width apart. Draw the hips backwards. Now you can look, you can visualize, you can see how wide apart the backs of your hands are. I'd like you to try to keep that as you rotate to the right and come back center and rotate left. And then do that a couple times. Now I'm going to ask you while you're doing this, funny things going on with the hips. I'd like you to kind of lock them down. Come back center, relax the arms. We're going to set this up a little differently this next round. So I'd like you to take your toes and step them just slightly into the center line. And then I'd like you to take your heels. Actually, sorry, no. I'd like you to take your legs nice and long. And then try to take your heels and rotate them away from the body. So we have an activation, you should feel up on the outside of the hips. We're gonna extend those arms back out, there's a slight lean forward. You might feel those muscles on those hips a lot more active now. Keep it that way as you rotate to the right and the left. There should be a slight lean forward, arms are reaching forward. Separation of the backs of the hands remains the same, left to right, but most importantly, what?
Don't
Heels.
move your hips.
And hips, heels active, hips not moving, come back center, you wanted some exercises good for your shoulders, you got them. Hands come back over heart, step the feet straight forward, hands push the sky as you inhale, exhale, fold all the way down when I come down onto the mat.
Get more water.
Oh, my goodness. A lot of work there today, great job everybody, including you. I could barely hear you complaining. All kidding aside, we're down on our mats. I'm gonna do a version of what we did yesterday, which is the 90-90. As I bring my left butt cheek to the left side of the mat, I set up 90 degrees in that left knee. We're gonna go full Monty on this and take that right knee back. So basically you have a bunch of 90-degree angles, or we have a little bit of leaning going on now. So I'm gonna basically take it down, put my head on the couch and joke, of course. I'm using my forearm on my left side to support the upper body. As I lean in now, I've got a little more opportunity to reduce the effective work in these hip muscles. So we're gonna leverage that a little bit by taking that right hand, reaching it forward. So we're kind of rotating through the spinal column. And I'm putting the hand just right out in front of that right knee. And I'm gonna walk it forward as I lower down. So I'm offsetting the weight in the left arm as I walk forward, and I'm also offsetting the weight in the right palm. Holding there, keep that right arm straight, try to walk it forward a little more, and then walk it back in, and try to minimize the amount of effort you're putting into the right arm. Let's do this one more time. Right hand, right knee, walk it out, palm, then slides. Get that little bit of extra length, very important. And then walk it back up, minimize the amount of weight in that right arm. Hold on this now as we come up onto that left palm. Beautiful. Let's take it over to the opposite side. I'm gonna flip it around so I don't lose face to camera. You can just walk it around, maybe you have eyes in the back of your head, go for that. Coming down onto that right forearm, maintaining that body length, making sure I've not rotated internally with the spinal column, very important. Left hand, left knee, walk it out. You might feel different on each side, that's perfectly normal. We tend to favor one side gets fused more. Palm goes flat, try to slide it forward just a little more. And then walk it back up. And then do it again, exactly, walking forward. See if you can get a little bit more distance. Slide that palm. Walk it back in. And then
Up on the
up.
hand.
Yeah, up on the hand. What do you want to teach the class now? And now we're gonna flip over to opposite side. So we're gonna do a little different movement this time around. So we're gonna keep up on the hand on that left side. As we form the 90-90, we're gonna take the right hand this time and step it behind the body. And we're gonna raise the right knee so we can bring the right foot, the bottom of it, onto the mat. And then we're gonna lower down the right knee. And I'm just using that right arm to kind of assist when my body weight shifts back. As I open and close that right knee, I'm doing it slowly, rolling up onto the foot of the right side. If it's there, if it's accessible, that's kind of what the goal is. Your achievement of it may differ based upon stuff going on with your body, but that's kind of what you're aiming for. And we've done about 3 or 4 repetitions. We're gonna switch up sides. You can flip it over if you want. I'm gonna just go over to the opposite side. And then same exercise. Left knee raises up and lowers down. And just do that for a few more repetitions. You might find that with each repetition, you get a little more range of motion. On the next return, sweep both legs to face forward. Those little muscles of the legs have to work hard to do that. It's such an important exercise that you can do. Very important for people that sit for any period longer than 10 minutes, really. Those muscles just start to get more and more abused after that time frame, which is why they recommend about 20 minutes after sitting, getting up and walking around, just to kind of give relief to those muscles. Kirsten's gone into a folded stretch. We're still in staff pose. We're gonna keep staff nice and long. Yes, and I'm busting your chops. Now, as we hold tall there, I'm gonna bring my hands inside and I'm gonna pull my shoulders back to crowd out my chest. With the chest proud, now I'm gonna keep the spine long and walk forward. So I'm gonna initiate a different type of pull, because when we flex through the spine, we're really just lengthening the spinal column muscles. With the spine extension, we're focusing more on the muscles that interact through the hips, not along the spinal column. So we're gonna keep spine long and fold into this as best we can. When you're ready, walk your hands onto your toes, and we're gonna grab the hand over so we can kind of extend the toes and pull them in towards the shin. We're gonna bend through the elbows and kind of pull those toes down. So you feel a very nice, hopefully, stretch on the underside of the foot. Bring the foot into flexion. Use the arms to help pull the foot towards you. And you might notice that the toes start to push a little more, but if you can, try to increase the range and like fold down on them as you flex the foot. A lot of these little smaller tendons, muscles, and ligaments of the foot, on the underside of the foot, sorry, are getting a nice little reprieve right now. And then let that go. Hands come back over hips as we stand tall. Chest is proud. I'm on my fingertips on the backside, I'm gonna step my hands, fingertips being the thing I want you to focus on, so we're not on the palms. I'm gonna walk back the arms and proud out the chest. Now, there might be a proclivity to lean backwards. I want you to push forward, grow the spine as the arms walk backwards. Now, hold on this. You might feel a lot of the muscles starting to go, oh, big activation. And that's what we're kind of going for. Now, walk the fingers back, keep the chest nice and proud. Hold on this for another couple breaths. And then when you're ready, I'd like you to walk the hands, walk the fingers out towards the side of the body. So now we have fingers on the side of the body, and I'd like you to walk them away. I'm on just 3 fingertips right now, because 2 smaller ones just don't connect. I'd like you to keep those fingertips, as many as possible, as you walk them away from the center line of the body. Chest is still proud. Now, keep the chest proud and walk the back. So it's kind of like a radius of sort, like a little semicircle. You're walking away and walking back the fingers. You should feel a nice pull across the chest. And that's a nice stretch for those pectoralis muscles and a nice activation of the muscles of the back. This is a kind of corrective exercise. It's working to strengthen the back muscles as it's working to lengthen the front body muscles. So let's take a breath or two, enjoy this. And then when you're ready, bring hands over hearts. And take it down to the mat, Pilates style. We're almost done, believe it or not. We did a lot of work today, very little stretching, but really we did a lot of stretching because we're doing more progressive type stretching, all the way down. Now, finally, Kirsten says, you're gonna take your left foot, post it into the ground, and you're gonna take your right foot onto that left thigh. So figure 4, here we go. We're gonna kind of pull in, and I want you to feel a nice stretch here. Just, I'm not gonna talk this out too much. I just want you to feel what you can garner for release. Play around with it, float it from side to side, massage that lower back. Pull in a little more when it's ready or available to do so. And when you're ready, switch sides. And when you're ready here, put that right foot back down. Extend both legs all the way out. Separate your feet a little wider than hip width. Now bring some flexion to the feet, and then keep the flexion as you rotate the feet in towards each other. Try to keep the knees nice and long. So this is more of a stretch of the exterior rotators of the hips. And you dissipate the effectiveness of the stretch if you bend through the knees. So keep them locked out, heels driving forward, toes flexing towards the shins as the feet rotate in towards each other. Fill those lungs with air. As you exhale, relax everything and let the feet open all the way out. We're going to come back to the stretch one more time. This is a very nice stretch. When performed effectively, it's a good engagement of these external rotating muscles. And it's a good activation. Now, flex the feet, rotate internally, snap those knees down towards the earth, and work hard to create the internal rotation without compromising the joints. Take another deep breath as you release it. Pull the knees up and into the chest. Forehead up to meet the knees, and let's rock and roll front to back all the way up to a seated position. And there's those lovely bases again. Cross your legs, whatever style you prefer, and find that nice long spine. And let's bring hands over hearts so I can thank you for joining us today and wish you a wonderful day. Namaste.
Namaste. High five. Okay.
Good morning.